Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and it's time again to do a meta report. This is for week 4 Trials of Osiris. This is on Cauldron, and what I've actually done here now is I'm doing the stats after the fact, not during the week of Trials. And what I'm putting up here on the screen is actually all 4 metas at the same time. In fact, I'm going to bring off my screen here so you can see this more clearly. Boom. And so what we have here is Burnout, Anomaly, Widow's Court, and Cauldron, all 4 weeks of Trials so far. And obviously this next 5th week, by the time this video comes out, it'll probably almost be the new day of Trials. But here we are, we're going to analyze the data a little bit, look at what the strongest weapons are. Clearly Hard Light is the king of Trials and the king of Crucible now. It's crazy that the buffs were that strong and that hand cannons are way down on the list now. So first week we got Hard Light. Hard Light took a 2nd place in Widow's Court, which was surprising, but obviously it's a big map, so doesn't makes a little bit of sense there. But then Hard Light back again on Cauldron, and so which also did surprise me because I used a hand cannon a lot this week, and I felt like a hand cannon was extremely strong. I used an auto rifle occasionally, but really the hand cannons were super strong on this map, so I'm a little bit surprised that people went with the Hard Light route. But obviously team shooting with Hard Light or Suros or whatever auto rifle for that matter is extremely strong and extremely effective, and so I'm sure a lot of teams were just spamming Hard Light down those hallways and stuff, especially with the doors opening and closing. You could control which door would open, and then you could just lay in those with Hard Light. But it wasn't a bit too big a problem for myself, but maybe if you had a hard time with it, let me know. The second most used weapon was the Mindbender's Ambition, which is also kind of surprising, considering that the Hard Light would not be accompanied with the Mindbender's Ambition. So that means that, you know, if you look down the list, the most common weapon that would probably have been used with the Mindbenders would be the Suros. So Suros and Mindbender was probably a really popular loadout. And when players were using Suros and Mindbender, it seemed that the Mindbender got the majority of the kills, which is crazy to me, especially considering that, you know, Hard Light and Revoker were probably used together a lot, or Hard Light and Astral Horizon were probably used a lot. But Hard Light was the main culprit for the kills there and racked up a massive 5 million kills for that weekend in Trials, which is just astounding. It's crazy how strong the Hard Light is in the game currently. Certainly Bungie will have to do something and adjust it at some point. Whether or not they nerf the Hard Light, whether or not they buff some other weapons, I don't know. It would obviously be nicer to just buff some other weapons so that way we could see some new weapons shine. But at the same time, the Hard Light is so disgustingly OP right now, statistically speaking, that it probably could do with a decent nerf. Let me know in the comments below what you think it could be nerfed to, or what adjustments they could make. Honestly, the only thing I can think of would be maybe a drop to the range drop off. It has infinite range right now. You could drop off that range a little bit. Obviously, don't add that screen shaking back to it that what it originally had, because that was terrible. So I would not like that. The 5th weapon was Astral Horizon. The 6th is Beloved. The 7th was the Summoner, which is really surprising that a lot of people were rocking the Summoner over the Hard Light, which is kind of cool in my opinion. If you are out there using an auto rifle, you know, I give a little bit of respect to those rocking a Summoner, because the Hard Light is so strong and it's literally the same slot and everything. So if you are using a Summoner, what role are you using? Because I've been thinking about using this weapon more, but I don't feel like I have as good a role, and I also don't feel like I can compete against Hard Light users. But as I said earlier, the number 8 spot is Spare Rations, and this is my go-to gun. I've been using Spare Rations and Dire Promise. I'm kind of sad that Dire Promise didn't make it onto the top 10 here, but Dire Promise is really, really strong, and it's the same archetype as Spare Rations. It's a little bit easier to get to. They're dropping a little more frequently because in order to get a Spare Rations, you either have to do Gambit, or you have to go do some Reckoning, and neither one of those activities are my kind of activities. Whereas Dire Promise is an open world drop, so you tend to see those drop a little bit more. The number 9 spot actually went to the Dust Rock Blues, which blows my mind. I have no clue how this happened. How did the Dust Rock Blues creep back up into the top 10, considering that the Astral Horizon is there and it's better in pretty much every way possible? It has quick draw on it. I don't know what you gamers are, what G Fuel you're snorting out there, but Dust Rock Blues has no place in the top 10. I imagine this might be the last time we see it in the top 10, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Dust Rock Blues is actually the shit, and is better than Astral Horizon. I don't think so, though. Let me know if you use Rocket Dust Rock Blues and think so. The number 10 spot goes to Bastion, and this thing is crazy. I've been going up against this more and more. This thing is actually kind of nuts. This is almost like the new Lord of Wolves. I'm going to spend some time in the future learning how to use this thing better and better and better, but this thing is nasty. Do not laugh at the Bastion. This thing is super lethal, super strong. If you're looking for a weapon that just completely obliterates everything that stands in front of it, this Bastion is definitely worth using and worth giving a try. It made it into the top 10 spot in week 2, but hasn't been seen since. So it's probably down there lingering in week 1 and week 3 in the 13th or 12th spot or so. But it's strong, and it might actually, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bastion were to raise a couple spots over the next few weeks, because more and more people are going to become aware of how strong this weapon is. As they use it, as you know, like this YouTube video and other YouTube videos go out, people will start to realize the strength of the Bastion and begin to use it more, because it's actually a really, really good weapon. But there you have it. You can see all the weapons through all the weeks of the meta of Trials, and we'll see what week 5 is. I don't know what the map's going to be yet as I'm making this video. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe it'll be like Javelin 4 or Exodus Blue. Who knows? But we'll see. Thanks again for watching. I hope you appreciated this meta report, and I'll see you in the Trials of Osiris. Later.